How is it that some people are being told to step aside because they have been accused of corruption, they have been exposed of corruption, but some people are still working with the president? These people have been named and shamed in the Zondo Commission. They have been named and shamed in the Zondo Commission, but they are still working with the president. So how is it possible that the former president can come to the people and tell the people that, guys, we need to transform the ANC, whereas the people that have been accused and exposed in Zondo Commission are working with the president?
The 360 experience with Thomas M.
Man, you know when they say that politics is a dirty game, this is exactly what they mean. You know, when you sit down and think about everything that Thabo Mbeki has said over the years, how critical he was of the party, I would assume that it actually led many people into believing that Thabo Mbeki no longer wants anything to do with the ANC. I would assume that people listening to Thabo Mbeki, they actually thought that Thabo Mbeki was ready to see the party lose power. This is what it sounded like to me. Because you remember when Ramaphosa became the president, he said that the ANC is going to renew itself. We are going to get rid of the corrupt cadres. We are going to make sure that we appoint qualified people so that the people on the ground, they can get the services. We are going to make sure that we have sufficient investments so that the people can find employment. We are going to make sure that we fix all of these problems that are facing South Africa. 5 years into Ramaphosa's presidency, none of those things have actually materialized. And Thabo Mbeki has not been shy to swing at the ANC non-stop. He has been swinging at the ANC non-stop to a point of Thabo Mbeki telling South Africans that I am not going to campaign for the ANC. I look at this political party, I look at how filthy this political party is, and I am not going to associate myself with this political party, so I am not going to campaign for them. I'm sorry, I am not going to campaign for them. But today, the same Thabo Mbeki has actually came out to campaign for the African National Congress. The same Thabo Mbeki who has been telling people about everything that the ANC has been doing, the person who has been critical of every single thing that the ANC has been doing, is now coming back to tell South Africans that, guys, we need you to vote for the African National Congress. So what does it say about Thabo Mbeki? What does it say about him as the person? I know that right now a lot of people are trying to spin this. The ANC spin masters are working overtime, trying to convince South Africans that, guys, no, this is not what Thabo Mbeki meant. Thabo Mbeki meant in this context. No, Thabo Mbeki actually never said that he will not campaign for the ANC. This is what Thabo Mbeki actually meant. The spin masters of the ANC, they are working overtime, trying to justify Thabo Mbeki coming back and telling South Africans to vote for the African National Congress when he is the same person who came out and said that he is not going to campaign for the ANC. So the question that I have for Thabo Mbeki, what changed? What changed? What changed? Because Thabo Mbeki, guys, he's an influential person. People love Thabo Mbeki. He's very influential. So when Thabo Mbeki comes out and tells people to vote for the African National Congress, even the people that no longer wanted to vote for the ANC, they're gonna think and come back and vote for the ANC. If Thabo Mbeki was so critical of the ANC, but today he's telling people to vote for the ANC, can you imagine what that message is going to do on the ground? Can you imagine of the people who actually respect Thabo Mbeki as a person? They're going to say, okay, Thabo Mbeki has been critical of the ANC, and the same person has actually came out to tell us that, guys, this time we are making a commitment to fix this political party so that South Africa can be right. The ANC is going to win, guys. The ANC is going to win. I think at this point, man, the political parties, especially the opposition parties, they are helpless. There is nothing they can do at this point. The ANC is going to win. The ANC's campaign machinery is on full swing. No one can stop the ANC's campaign machinery. You look at everywhere the African National Congress goes, the people go. Everywhere the African National Congress go, the people go. And now with the Thabo Mbeki on the side, it's going to make things worse for the opposition parties. It's going to make things 10 times worse for the opposition parties. Man, for years, Thabo Mbeki has actually been chipping away of the credibility of the ANC. for years, Thabo Mbeki has actually been making people aware or woke about everything that has been happening in the ANC. Thabo Mbeki has actually convinced a lot of people to say that, guys, we know that we loved this political party. We know that we said we are going to protect this political party. But at some point, we have to be honest about what is happening in this political party. And Thabo Mbeki is one person who has actually been honest about what has been happening in the ANC. But today, the same Thabo Mbeki, he's telling South Africans that, guys, we need you to vote for the African National Congress. I know of everything that I've said to you guys. I know of every single thing that I've told the people of this country. But at this point, I need you guys to vote for the African National Congress. Guys, this is one of the things that Thabo Mbeki has actually said about the African National Congress.
I don't think the ANC understands that reality. It is true that you have got many greedy people, many corrupt people. If I ask the question, why is the ANC, which marginalized people as we are saying, why is it behaving like this? I say to the ANC comrades that when you say I must go campaigning next year, to say to people, vote ANC. How am I going to do that? To say, vote ANC. When I know very well that the branch of the ANC in this constituency is led by a criminal. You can't. It's not possible to go and say, vote ANC for a criminal. I don't think the ANC.
This is what he said. With his own mouth, this is what Thabo Mbeki has said. But guys, recently it looks like things have changed within the African National Congress. We don't even know the concessions were actually made between Thabo Mbeki and the party, because right now the former president is in full swing telling South Africans that, guys, you need to vote for the African National Congress. What changed? That is my question. What changed?
Back to Soweto, that's where we find the former ANC president Thabo Mbeki campaigning. Let's take you live there now and listen in.
I know you have been told that. Oh, is it fine now?
Let us focus. We really appreciate such a huge turnout by members of the media this afternoon on the occasion of the campaign trail led by President Thabo Mbeki, stalwart of our organization. I'm going to keep quiet until News of Africa finishes. Thank you. On the occasion, on the visit to Soweto, as part of the ANC's elections campaign trail by Comrade Thabo Mbeki, our former president, the former president of the Republic, stalwart of the organization, and our leader. And at this point in time, we will ask, at this point in time,
you know, guys, when I think about this, is that Thabo Mbeki right now is encouraging South Africans to vote for the ANC, and Thabo Mbeki is very influential. Whether you like Thabo Mbeki or you hate him, but he's very influential. So Thabo Mbeki now he's telling South Africans to vote for the ANC, and South Africans are actually going to listen to him to vote for the ANC. What is he going to do after the elections? What is he actually going to do personally to make sure that the ANC is the party actually renews itself? Because I fear that Thabo Mbeki right now might actually tell South Africans to vote for the ANC, and after the elections, Thabo Mbeki will be at the same position that he was last year. And I fear that Thabo Mbeki might actually find himself doing the speeches like he was doing last year, going backward. This is what I fear about this whole thing. That Thabo Mbeki, of course, you're going to tell the people to vote for the ANC. But what are you going to do personally to make sure the political party renews itself? And if the ANC fails to renew itself, what are you going to do besides the speeches? I feel like you're gonna go back to doing the speeches again. I feel like I'm gonna do the video again telling you, Thabo Mbeki, that guy, you were on the right track to tell the people of this country that, guys, maybe we need to reconsider this political party. Maybe we need to reconsider voting for this political party. But you have actually went back on your words, and I'm honestly hoping that you are not going to regret this decision, because right now no one is going to listen to you when you are being critical of the ANC. I can tell you that for free. No one is going to listen to you. No one. There's not a single person who's going to listen to Thabo Mbeki when he's being critical about the ANC, because we can actually see that it's fine when you are critical about the ANC. If it's not the elections, you can say everything about you want about the party. But when it comes to the elections, you're still going to tell the people to still vote for the political party that you have been criticizing for years. So I hope that Thabo Mbeki is not going to regret this decision of actually campaigning for the ANC after telling South Africans that, guys, I cannot campaign for this political party.
A colleague in the media who is not behaving, may I ask that to partake with us, please? At this point in time, I will ask the Comrade President to just say a quick remark about the purpose of your visit here and your interaction with the people of Soweto.
Thanks, Mashleng. Well, let me join in saying thanks a lot for coming. It's not the best circumstances for us to hear one another. But as you can see from this, I came to Jaulani Mall to distribute this leaflet, to ask the people of Soweto to vote for the ANC at the end of April, 29th, of May. As you can see, I think the response is very good. I have not been in Soweto for some time, but I know the response of the people. Have campaigned here before and will come here again, because I think it is important that we should indeed return the ANC to power. I know there are many problems in the country, even problems within the ANC. And so as we say vote ANC, we're also making a commitment to the people that we will attend to the problems within the ANC itself.
But this is what the leadership of the ANC has been saying for years. We are going to attend to these issues that are within the African National Congress. This is the same thing that Ramaphosa has said when he became the president. So I feel like at this point, these people want to fix the ANC at the expense of South Africa. You people want the people of this country to actually wait for you to fix ANC while the people's lives are being destroyed. Because how long are you going to keep saying this? Like how long? How long? Aren't you people tired of actually saying that, yeah, we agree there are problems within the ANC and we are going to fix those problems, but we still want you to vote for us? How long are you going to keep singing the same song?
To make sure that it is able to discharge its responsibilities to the population. But I think fortunately, my knowledge of the people of Soweto is that they will listen to that, and I hope they will. Because it's a challenge to address all of these problems: unemployment, poverty, crime, everything. And I think the ANC can do it, but it's an ANC that must be transformed. And so I make that kind of commitment to these voters, that will also attend to the ANC itself so that it can deliver on its promises. But thanks a lot for coming.
And guys, do you actually believe that the ANC can be transformed? Speaking like as an average South African on the ground, I honestly don't see how the ANC is going to transform itself. Because for the party to actually be transformed, you guys are gonna need to get rid of a lot of cadres. This is why people are saying even that step aside is political within the ANC. That step aside is political within the ANC. How is it that some people are being told to step aside because they have been accused of corruption, they have been exposed of corruption, but some people are still working with the president? These people have been named and shamed in the Zondo Commission. They have been named and shamed in the Zondo Commission, but they are still working with the president. So how is it possible that the former president can come to the people and tell the people that, guys, we need to transform the ANC, whereas the people that have been accused and exposed in Zondo Commission are working with the president? This is the reason why I'm saying that what is he going to do personally to make sure that the ANC has been transformed? What is he going to do personally? Does he have enough influence within the ANC to actually transform the party? And will the party actually allow Thabo Mbeki to come and transform it? You look at the cadres of the ANC, many cadres of the ANC have been accused of corruption. Many cadres of the ANC have been accused of accepting the bribes and all sorts of things. So do you believe that those people will actually allow Thabo Mbeki to come back and transform the party? Because for the party to be transformed, all of these people, they will need to leave the African National Congress. There is no ways. They will need to leave the African National Congress. It's either the party actually transforms or the party actually stays as it is. And right now, when you look at things, it looks like the party is going to stay as it is. I honestly don't think that the party can transform itself. Maybe I'm not being positive about the ANC. Maybe I'm not being positive about the ANC. Maybe I'm not being fair about the ANC. But I honestly do not see how the party can actually transform itself. He himself has, he has said that for years the ANC, one of the problems that the ANC has actually failed is to actually see that many people have been joining the ANC simply to benefit, not because they want to help the people of this country. And I remember I came on this platform and I said, Thabo Mbeki, if you were aware that many people were actually joining the ANC because of the benefits, why didn't you do anything about it? You were aware that people are joining the ANC because they want to be MMCs, they want to be the councillors and all sorts of things, but they do not want to work for the people of South Africa. They simply want the benefits. What did you do about it? You didn't do anything about it. You didn't do anything about it. You waited for you to do a speech so that you can speak about it. But in terms of you being hands-on about this problem that you have actually witnessed, you have never done anything about it. So how are you now going to ensure the people of this country that the party is going to transform itself? You have failed to actually make sure that the party transforms itself. It's not like right now you have the powers that you didn't have before.
Mr. President, is this an indication that you have put some of your concerns about the ANC to one side for the purposes of this election campaign? And will we be seeing more of you on the campaign trail?
Definitely, yes. We'll be seeing more on the campaign trail, but no, I have not put aside my concerns. The concerns that are expressed by the people, when the people say, well, I'm happy about this, about the other, about the ANC, those concerns are genuine. And we must attend to them. That's why I'm saying that part of what, when I say to people, vote ANC, I'm also making a commitment to the people that will attend to these problems within the ANC itself. Because it must really discharge its responsibilities.
Okay, President, why have you changed your mind about campaigning for the ANC?
Guys, if you didn't hear the question is what changed your mind about campaigning for the ANC?
Never changed my mind.
So the statement that you said that campaigning for the ANC while there's all criminal activities happening within the party.
No, I've never changed my mind. I said to the ANC, the same point I'm making now. If ANC is necessary for the ANC to attend to its own internal problems, which they are. When the ANC said to itself, we must renew ourselves, that was very good. It comes from conferences. It was correct. The ANC must renew itself. Those are conference decisions because of what's not right within the ANC. So I've never changed my mind about this.
But you said you are not going to campaign for the party. You did say you are not going to campaign for the party, man. You said it. You said it, and the question remains, what actually changed your mind about campaigning for the ANC? What changed your mind? Because you told us about all the criminal activities that are taking place within the party. You told us that it's going to be impossible for you to go out and tell South Africans to vote for the ANC because of what has been happening within the party. You did say it. So you haven't actually answered the question. What changed your mind about campaigning for the ANC?
That's why I'm saying I want to make a commitment as we campaign and say to the people, vote ANC, we must also say to the people, we'll also attend to this ANC. These complaints that you have must be addressed.
SAPC, the hand has been up, followed by ENCA, followed by Sunday Well.
Samkelo from the SAPC. Mr. President, you've not actively campaigned like this since 2007. Looking at the scenarios and the events that have taken place since then, do you feel vindicated that the man whom took over from you, who subsequently went to open his own party, do you feel vindicated that you were never part of what transpired post-2007? And do you think the incumbent leadership has what it takes to renew the ANC and to get over the 50% threshold this time around, knowing the electoral problems the ANC is faced with that individual from
Samkelo must take into account that for all of these years that you are talking about, I've always been a member of the ANC.
Yes.
During all of those years. So I think as a member of the ANC, I must take responsibility for what the ANC does or doesn't do, the rights and the wrongs of it. It's our fault. I'm part of that. And it's our challenge. I'm not an elected official of the ANC, but I'm a senior member of the ANC. And it's our responsibility as that senior leadership to make sure that we do the right things in terms of what the demands of the people are. And I'm saying even with regard to the competence, you see it in the manifesto of the ANC, when it talks about an ethical leadership, a responsible leadership. It's to address this matter, that the ANC itself must take care of itself to make sure that it is what the people expect of it, what the people expect of the ANC to be.
Thank you very much.
But guys, Thabo Mbeki is good by not answering the questions, man. This guy is so good. He's not answering any of these questions that have been posed. Do you think that the current leadership of the ANC has what it takes to renew the party? Do you think that Ramaphosa, as the president of the country, actually has what it takes to renew the African National Congress? And how can we speak about the ethical leadership when you have the president of the country who has been exposed with the palapala? But Thabo Mbeki is not answering any of these questions, man. It's almost as if like he has memorized the talking points of the ANC, and he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that he speaks those talking points. He's not going to address anything that he has been asked.
The ENCA?
Sunday Well, my question is very simple. There are people who say yes, the ANC collectively you are cowards because you have a former party president who has taken an oppositional position and is campaigning for another party, and you just don't seem to have what it takes to decisively expel him. What is your position? Do you think he ought to be expelled right away, or this should be done beyond the elections?
You see, the position has been taken by the leadership, and I think they're probably right about this, is that there are certain set procedures in the constitution of the ANC as to how you expel a member. That it is necessary for the ANC itself to respect that constitution, so that it does not behave in any manner, in a lawless manner, in terms of its own laws. And therefore the decisions to take into disciplinary committee and so on, that's what's prescribed in the constitution. It's not cowardice. It's that I think that loyalty to its own constitution is important in the same way that we must also be loyal to the national constitution. So I think the position that the ANC leadership has taken on this in terms of procedure is correct.
Sunday Well.
So basically Thabo Mbeki is saying that the ANC, they are not cowards for not expelling Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma is going around telling people not to vote for the ANC. He is actively decampaigning the African National Congress, and Thabo Mbeki says that we are not cowards for actually not expelling Jacob Zuma. So what is it exactly does Jacob Zuma need to do before you guys expel him? What is it exactly does he need to do? Because this is how you guys appear. This is how you guys appear. I'm not sure if some of these people actually understand that to average South Africans, the ANC appear as cowards. You appear as cowards for actually not being firm on Jacob Zuma. You can talk about the laws, you can talk about the constitution of the ANC, but the fact that Jacob Zuma, such an influential person, he's actively decampaigning the party, and you guys are scared to expel him. people are actually saying that you guys are cowards. You can hide behind the constitution and the laws. You can hide behind all of those. Okay, it's fine. You can do as you please. But to average people on the ground, they actually believe that you guys are cowards.
Well, I don't know. The ANC will. That question will be answered by the people. The ANC will go to the people to say, you know who we are. This is what we want to do. This is what we say in our manifesto. We recognize the weaknesses in ourselves. This is what we're going to do to correct them. And so it's the people who will answer that question.
Mr. President, we understand that your position is that whenever you speak in public, you have to speak the truth. And that's part of what makes it difficult for you to come and campaign outright for the ANC. How are you feeling about that right now that you've just hit a half circle across the board?
No, see, as I've said this, that I've been a member of the ANC for over 60 years. And I think as a member of the ANC, I've got an obligation. When the ANC goes out to the population and say, please elect us in order that we do the following, I think it's a responsibility of all members of the ANC, including myself, to respond to that. And that's all we're doing.
We're done.
All right, thanks.
Thank
you very much.
Me, man, I just hope that Thabo Mbeki is not going to regret this decision of campaigning for the ANC. I just hope that Thabo Mbeki will not go from university to university doing the speeches and crying about the ANC the way like he cried about the ANC in the last couple of years. I hope that he's not going to cry anymore about the ANC. I hope that he's going to be proud of this decision that he has made by actually telling South Africans to vote for the African National Congress. And again, Thabo Mbeki joining the campaigning trail of the ANC, like, it means a lot of problems for the opposition parties. There are a lot of problems for the opposition parties. And honestly, when we talk about the opposition parties in South Africa, I don't think that any of the opposition parties that we have in the country are actually ready to fight the African National Congress. These people have failed to convince the average South Africans on the ground to stop voting for the African National Congress. Despite everything that the ANC has done, the opposition parties in the country have failed to convince the people to vote otherwise. And now the ANC, they have Thabo Mbeki on their campaign trail. I don't know how the opposition parties are going to stop that. The only thing they can do is to complain that Thabo Mbeki is a hypocrite. Thabo Mbeki is flip-flopping on what he said. But right now, he's telling South Africans to vote for the ANC. What are opposition parties going to do? Guys, please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part is subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabal, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.